Took a long walk today, like I do most every day. Helps to keep this old body ticking over. When you've punched in 70, time gets closer and you don't know when you're gonna be pushing up the clover. I'm not the man that I used to be. The years just keep on roaring by, and before you know it, your history, you're playing in that big band in the sky. So just keep walking every day, all along the wild Atlantic way. That salt sea air will keep your mind and body sober. Just keep on roaring by, and before you know it, your history, you're playing in that big band in the sky. So I keep walking every day, every inch of valley here in the bay helps to keep this old body ticking over. Keep this body ticking over. Keep on walking every day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep on walking every day. Yeah.
So that's a song called Ticking Over from the new album from Brendan Quinn, who joins me now on the big interview. Brendan, welcome.
Nice to be here, Robin. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the song then, Ticking Over. Is there a story behind this?
Well, I turned 70, a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago, and 70 is a big number. It's a big, 70. The Bible says 70, and then you're on borrowed time. So I began to think about this and it just hit me that, Christ, I'm 70 years of age, and I do a bit of walking where I live. I walk quite a bit. And that song just came into my head, Taking Over. By the time I got finished my walk, I had a couple of verses of it, and I decided to call the album that. Well, it was a good, short, sharp title, so that's how that song came about. And it's a 13-track album with 7 covers on it and 6 of my own songs. It's a good mixture of stuff, people like John Prine, Jesse Winchester, people like that, and then, of course, my own songs.
Let's take you way back to the start, Brendan. You came from a big family. Was it a big musical family?
Not particularly. My sister Philomena, who's about 5 years older than me, she was a singer, a good singer, and she was singing in a local band at the time. I was about, we'd say, when I became aware of the whole thing, about 11, and she might have been 16 or 17. And she had all these songs, Connie Francis, Brenda Lee, and she was singing all these songs walking about the house.
Yeah.
And I was singing them with her, and that's how I got into singing. And then about 13 or 14, I got a guitar, and just learned a few chords and learned to sing and play at the same time, and that's how I started. I got my first job with the Doris Katie Band. There was an annual dance in the Dinty Fit factory in Cookstown. They had an annual dance every year in the canteen, and they booked Malachi for the dance, and that was my first professional gig. I can't remember what year it was, about 61 or something like that.
And like a lot of musicians at that time as well, you went into the show bands, and that was a pretty good training ground for any young musicians at that time.
Fabulous training ground, yes. We formed a local band as we grew older. My brother David, who's since deceased, he was the drummer, and Eamon Regan and Eddie White and Billy Costley. We got a couple of guys from Coal Island. A guy called John Bates played trumpet. It was a kind of a local band, and we called ourselves the Breakaways. We had a singer called Robin, big lad, 6'2", sang all the pop stuff. I sang a lot of stuff myself, like Fats Domino, and then Robin left, got married and left, and we were down to a 7-piece. And we just didn't replace the singer. I became the lead singer, and we continued on as a 7-piece band. And then eventually I decided that we'd make a record. So we went down to Dublin and spent a few quid and recorded 4 songs. One of them was called It's 4 in the Morning, which was a cover of Farron Young. Mm-hmm. He had a big hit with it in America, but we had a hit in Ireland. We went to #1 here in Ireland with it. And
didn't Farron Young actually say you sang it better than him?
No, he said you stole my song. I met the guy one night along with Big T, who we both know very well, great friend of mine. We were in Nashville, and we were at the Possum Holler, and outside we met Farron Young, and T had met him before, and said, "This is Brendan Quinn." Yeah, you stole my song. He was a kind of drunk at the time, but that's what he said to me. But I didn't care because it got me established. It started off my career, 1971.
And you're always good at choosing songs, because another one you chose was Charlie Rich's Behind Closed Doors,
yes,
which is a great song.
There's a story behind that too,
Yeah.
Because that was sent to the BBC, and Tony Blackburn picked that song up, and he played it every morning. I remember getting a phone call from a band manager called Peter Dempsey, who used to manage the Freshmen.
Yeah.
And he was calling from a phone box in Newry to my house. He says, "I can't believe this, Brendan. I'm after hearing Tony Blackburn playing your song." And he did. Mm-hmm. And he actually made a comment one day that, "Yeah, I know Charlie Rich's this right, but I prefer this version," he said.
Brilliant.
But that's all history now.
And of course there was more #1s then after that for you in the 70s.
That Is It a Gear was a big one for me. Bandy the Rodeo Clown. Angeline, Would You Like to Dance Again?
And you have to do Angeline every night in the show, don't you?
And for
They love it, yeah.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
Brendan, we're going to hear a song called I Got You. Tell us the story behind this one.
First song I wrote, it's the first song I really got put down on paper. I just got a line or two and went from there, Songwriting doesn't come easy to me. The lyrics don't come too easy. I could knock out a melody, but lyrics are the problem with me, so I don't write that many. But that's the first one I'd ever did, I Got You, and it's about myself and the wife, just.
Okay, let's have a listen to this one then. Here we go with I Got You.
I got nothing in my head today. There's really nothing that I want to say, but sure it doesn't matter anyway, 'cause I got you. Well, my car's just packed in and the taxi's up. There's something swimming in my coffee cup. But hey baby, I got all the luck, 'cause I got you. I got you, and that's all that matters to me. I got you, and I feel like I'm one of the chosen few. The moon is shining, the stars are bright. The beach at Fountain is a sight at midnight. And and everything about tonight is right, 'cause I got you. Yeah. Came to me with her big brown eyes. She really threw me, took me by surprise. But just in time I realized that I've got you. I got you, and that's all that matters to me. I got you, and I feel like I'm one of the chosen few. Shining and the stars are bright. The beach at Fountain is a sight at midnight, and everything about tonight is right. I got you. I got you. Nobody but you. I'm crazy about you.
You went to America for a time as well. You toured America.
Canada.
You went to Canada, didn't you?
Yeah, off to Canada. Spent almost 4 years there in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. Brought the whole family with me. It was a great experience, fantastic experience. The kids went to school and all, and they mixed with different nationalities, and it just broadened their horizons. And we eventually came back in 1985, and I kind of picked up my career again.
And what made you come back?
There's a couple of things. Canada's a huge country, and we were traveling. When we were traveling a lot, and we were away. We weren't away for a month. We may have been away for 2 months, because the country's so big, and you have to stay out on the road to kind of make any money. So we were away a lot, and it just got soul destroying. I would come home, and Bernie would say to me, "You'd be home for a few weeks, then you'd be away again," and I was upsetting their routine.
Yeah.
By the time I got into the routine again, I was on another tour.
Yeah.
The only thing that was keeping us there was the house that we bought, and we had no problem selling that. So as soon as that was sold, we came home. And another factor was that Julia, our eldest, was changing from primary to second level, and we just thought, good education system at home and all that, and that was one of the factors.
Yeah. And what was life on the road like with you when you were touring? Did you lead the whole rock and roll lifestyle?
No, more or less, it's like the old saying is, what happens on the road stays on the road, Robin, Let's just say we had a good time.
But you did at one stage. You have something in common with Willie Nelson, don't you?
Yeah. A friend of mine, Peter O'Hanlon, when we were caught at Larne Harbour. And Pete, at the beginning of a song, he said, "I have a great song for you, Brandon." He says, "It happened at Larne, let me tell you the yarn, we were busted."
And what were you busted for?
I had a bit of cannabis,
right,
which was highly illegal at that time, and that was 87. And they threw the book at me, I almost did time.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I was told. My solicitor told me, he says, "Brenton, that you could go down for this." But I got character references from two very good people. Harry Adair, who was producing...
Remember Harry, yeah.
He was producing the television show that I was doing at the time. And Father Brian Darcy, another good friend. Both of those guys came to Larne Court and spoke for me.
Brilliant.
And the judge let me off with a huge fine. So that was... But if it happened today, you'd probably get a slap on the wrist.
So we're going to hear a song now called Pilgrims of Eternity. Tell us the story behind this one.
Yeah, that line, I got that line from an article in the newspaper. But the song was more or less been on the road just. And I remember I used to do a lot of gigs, solo gigs in London, and fly over and fly back on the cheap flights. So you'd have to be at Luton Airport at 6:30 to get home. So I'm standing outside the Galtymore at 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting on this Green Line bus coming up from Victoria to take me up to Luton. So I'm heading north on the Green Line. That's the first line of the song. So I just went from there. It's a song about being on the road and wanting to get home just.
All right, here we go. Brendan Quinn with Pilgrims of Eternity.
I'm heading north on the Green Line. I've been on this road so long, and sometimes I think I'm just wasting my time, singing the same old song. Bright neon lights have passed me by. It's just a hard road for me. Ours is not to ask the reason why, it's just the way things seem to be. We're pilgrims of eternity. It doesn't matter where we roam, like a boat out on the raging sea, trying to find our way back home. Keep on driving to that last show, baby. Soon as it's over, I'll be gone. And keep your candlelight shining in the window. I could be home before the dawn. We're just pilgrims of eternity. It doesn't matter where we roam, like a boat out on the raging sea, trying to find our way back home. We're just pilgrims of eternity. It doesn't matter where we roam, like a boat out on the raging sea, trying to find our way back home. Just trying to find our way back home. Yeah, trying to find our way back home.
So we're talking there about some of the great venues. You played the Galtymore, obviously, over in London. That was a great venue for any Irish artist to play, wasn't it?
World famous place. They used to have 2 bands in it every Saturday night because they had huge, two different ballrooms. We played all over England and Scotland. Scotland was a good place to play. Nice scenery and nice people.
Yeah.
Scottish people are very warm, I always thought.
Now, what about some of the legends you met along the way? Let's talk Merle Haggard. What was he like?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like meeting your hero, you know. We were on a big country weekend in this little town called Independence, Kansas, and everybody that was anybody was on that. Merle Haggard, George Jones and Tammy, Ronnie Milsap, Lacey J. Dalton, Charlie Rich.
Wow.
But what a weekend. But we were on the same show as Haggard. We opened for Haggard. And we all stayed in this place called the Best Western. All the artists were there. And about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, Merle's piano player came up into the foyer where we were milling about. And he said, Merle would like you guys to come down to the room. He doesn't want to come up here, but the Irish guys, get them down, he says, and tell them to bring the accordion with them. We had a piano player in the band called Seamus Costello. He also played Irish traditional music on the box. And this fascinated Haggard. He wanted to hear. So we went down to his room We spent about 6 hours there all night. He wanted to hear the Irish music, and of course he got down and played a bit of blues himself, and well, we all played with him. I think there was 4 or 5 members of the band there. There was a couple of members weren't there, but there was about 4 or 5 of us there. We had a great night with Haggart, and the next morning we had breakfast together, and he was heading off to Minneapolis for his next trip, and we were still staying in Independence for another gig. It was, there wasn't a photograph or a tape machine about. It just happened.
Don Williams was another one.
Yeah, lovely man. I've worked with him as well. Worked with him in Ireland here. He did used to do a couple of gigs. He used to do the Waterfront Hall in Belfast, and then a gig in Dublin. And Jim Aiken, the great promoter, rang me one day. He said, "Brenton, I'm just looking at Don Williams' contract here, and I see he does 75 minutes. That's all he does."
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to need an opener, and would you do it? Yeah, of course I would. So me and a guy called Ted Ponsonby from Letterkenny opened for him in Belfast and in Dublin, and I worked with him in America as well. But Don was a real nice man, very quiet, and just a nice human being.
And I know here in Ireland as well, you knew the late great Henry McCulloch very well, didn't you?
Henry and I were great friends. We turned out to be great friends, and I used to visit him a lot in the winter nights doing nothing. We'd go down and play guitars and stuff, and he used to come up to our house as well, him and Josie. And just aside, he took a massive coronary, and he stuck it for about 3.5 years, but he was in very bad shape. He eventually passed away a couple of years ago. Very sad. Beautiful man. Yeah. Beautiful man. And talk about music. And he showed me an awful lot about songwriting and stuff. We wrote one song together one Friday night. We were sitting, and at that time the Kelly Show was on, and the Late Late Show was on about the same time on another channel. And then there was a channel on TV3 that I think Eamon Dunphy was presenting it. Yeah. It's a kind of a opposition to the Late Late Show. So we were kind of flicking through the stations, and Henry went to the toilet and he came back. He says, "Well, what's happening now?" And I made the comment that all the late night chat shows are over, Henry. That's a title for a song, man. Let's do that. So we took it from there. Brilliant. Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever played you on radio. You'd just done a project called The Kickin' Mule.
That's right.
I remember getting that CD, and there's some great songs on that. Yeah. It was a collaboration with some great artists. Artie McGlynn was on that.
Artie McGlynn, and Peter O'Hanlon, who's with me here today, played it. Ted Ponsonby. Everybody played in that band. It was a night just of music. We didn't rehearse anything. Whoever wanted to come played, and that was it. And people enjoyed it. We used to play at a place called Sally O'Brien's in Omagh. It was packed every Monday night, and that went on for almost 20 years. We still do the odd gig with the Kickin' Mule, but very odd.
Yeah. Are you an ambitious person? Is there still stuff you really want to do?
Not really, no. I'm very content with where I am at the minute. I moved to Donegal 4 years ago, myself and Bernie, and the kids are all grown up. All have families, and we're on our own, and I just like living in Donegal. I have no ambitions as long as I can play a bit of music with whoever I want to play with. Doesn't matter whether it's in a pub or a theatre or whatever. I always have the guitar up with me every day. I have it in my hand nearly every day, and I do a lot of walking, keep myself healthy, and no real ambitions to be anything. Just want to play music.
Yeah. I know family is very important to you. You're going to do a song now called Jonah James. Tell us a story behind this.
Yeah, well, my son James, who was their youngest, got married to Deborah, and their first kid was coming along, and he was up to high dough, and he was ringing me, and she's in labour now, and then he rang, he says, "They have a boy." I says, "Great, James. Have you any idea what you're going to call it?" "Yeah, we're going to call it Jonah, and we're going to call him James after me." So the Jonah James thing just stuck in my head. Jesse James, Jonah James. and I wrote a wee song about him, you know, so that's how that came about.
Now that song is just one of many great songs on the new album, Taking Over, which is out now.
Yes.
And remind us again of where people can come on and see you on tour as well.
Yeah, Friday the 12th, we're in the Ballard Theatre in Ballybuffet, and we have a lot of guests that night, Donegal guests. It should be a good night. Then on the 18th, Thursday the 18th, we at the Riverside Theatre in Coleraine. The next night, Friday the 19th, we're in the Theatre at the Mill in Newton Abbey. And then on the 2nd of November, we finish up at the Marketplace Theatre in Armagh. So looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends and that. I haven't been touring for a while, and I'll have a full band with me and guest artists and everything. So come along and get your tickets.
Brendan, thank you so much for joining us on The Big Interview.
It's a real pleasure to be here, Robin, and thank you for having me.
And the very best of luck with the new album and the tour.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.
He arrived in his own good time, the way that it was meant to be. He checked in about 9:15. It was such a sight to see. He came out perfect in every way, a bouncing baby boy, and he'll just get stronger every day. He's our bundle of joy. Jonah James, you're welcome to this world. I know you'll fit in just fine. Jonah James, I wanna watch your life unfurl, 'cause you are the tie that binds. Well, I hope I'm still around, watch him grow to a big, strong man. Keep his feet right on the ground through the highs and the lows. Gonna give him all the love I can. Wanna hear him laugh, wanna see him smile. Wanna take him walking in the park, and I'll do just what it takes. I'll go that extra mile just to see him make his mark. Jonah James, you're welcome to this world. I know you'll fit in just fine. Jonah James, I wanna watch your life unfurl, 'cause you are the tie that binds. Jonah James, you're welcome to this world. I know you'll fit in just fine. Jonah James, I wanna watch your life unfurl, 'cause you are the tie that binds. Yes, you are the tie that binds. Jonah James.